Peace, everybody. This is your one-man urban orchestra, Rob the NOC, coming at you with another video. I haven't made one in a long time, but this one had to be made. And I'll make some more in the future, dealing with certain software that's my favorites I use. But Omnisphere is the best synth on this planet. I have waited for other people to respond, and I'm going to do it. DJ Ave Mcree has a different idea. He said he has 5, but he added on one more synth to say that these synths are better than Omnisphere, and the community that use Omnisphere has this thinking mentality that the things that in Omnisphere is exclusive, they think is exclusive to Omnisphere only, and that his picks are better than Omnisphere. I'm going to prove that wrong. I'm going to go into like a scholarship debunking debate, because there is no way the synths he picked are better than Omnisphere, period. So this will be a lesson tutorial. This is not going to be about making tracks or anything, but I'll have a track that I made with Omnisphere with nothing but the sounds from Omnisphere, and you'll see at the end. But for right now, let's get into this. And remember, it's not a beat making video, it's to prove Omnisphere is the best. So let's go. Short story, I started out with Atmosphere, and I didn't get led to get Atmosphere by no other producer or whatever, okay? I like atmospheric sounds in my R&B, my pop, my dancehall, my hip hop, and doing it with chords and so forth. So that led me to Omnisphere. Now let's check out what DJ Ave Mcree says about Omnisphere.
Warning, this video contains unpopular opinions by me, but they're opinions, so chill out. What is going on, guys? So I wanted to do this video for quite a while. I had a podcast where I talked about Omnisphere sucking, and then of course the community in itself got upset about this because Omnisphere is the holy grail. Most people usually use Omnisphere because they see their favorite music producers use it as well, and that's fine because we are all inspired by something, right? So I'm not saying that Omnisphere is a bad plugin. By no means is this something that I don't like. My opinion, and I will back it up because I have 5 plugins that I picked that are better than Omnisphere, and I will explain that because I think a lot of people have a weird understanding of how Omnisphere works, and they think that everything that Omnisphere does is exclusive to Omnisphere.
So, being that DJ Ave Mcree said that, Plugin Guru immediately says this to him: Av, my friend, as someone that has made unquestionably more libraries for Omnisphere than any other than anybody other than Spectrasonics, as well as libraries for a multitude of other software synths, and I'm still a part of the core voicing team since 1988. You are totally missing the point. There is no other synth on the planet with the diversity of samples coming from a multitude of sample libraries that used to cost $100 each, loaded via CD-ROM into Akai S1000 samplers. Remember those days? I remember that. I definitely remember that. That would cost more than the price of Omnisphere along with the power and flexibility of the synthesis engine, the integration of world-class effects often licensed by top audio effect plugin companies, and then given 8 times the patches that can play at once in real time as a single patch that make your multi-patches you showed sound like first grade attempts. Mad props to my brother Kevin for his work on Dune's synth. Contact me, please. Let me send you one of my OMG libraries, which I have. I have almost all of Plugin Guru's sound patches or sound libraries for Omnisphere. Libraries for Omnisphere were where it's playing drum grooves with imported custom samples while you jam with bass and keyboard or synth patches for your right hand to play. Nothing comes even close to the power of Omnisphere, but what makes it worth the price is that it comes with a beautiful, clear, and easy interface that makes working with it daily for 7 years now a joy. I think I may have to make a prove you wrong video. Be well. Plugin Guru, I got him. I got him. I got him. Just hold on. This video, I'm going to get him. I'm going to show him there are things that's in Omnisphere that is exclusive to Omnisphere and not in those 6 synths that he showed. But I got him. So let's go. So DJ Ave Mcree was going on with different people. So I picked out a couple. I Am God. He says, Omnisphere, and it's still on his site, right up on the Plugin Guru. He says, Omnisphere, Trillion, and Keyscape equal the Holy Trinity. Get those 3, you won't need anything else. He got 67 people that agree with him. Ave Mcree says, also 1,500, but we all know you didn't pay for those. LOL, he only got 26 hits. Okay, so I think that's like one of those clapbacks where he's trying to be funny, like, you got crack versions, you ain't buy all that. So I guess that's a little inside joke or whatever. But it's cool because, like I said, I'm just debating DJ Ave Mcree. Just because I don't agree, there's no beef. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue. So we get the next person named Sun Tai. Okay? And he says, what an awesome time we live in when 1,500 seems like a lot of money to pay for what you get for 3 synths. My first pro synth was a 32 voice Polyphony Roland D70. It was 2,100. Yes, there are people out there who actually pay for their gear. If they didn't, none of these precious devs would still be in business. That goes for Spectra, Tone 2, Xfer, Synapse, all of them. Av, I like your channel and I agree with your opinions on Omnisphere, but your assumption about I Am God TV, not cool, man. So, we're not even talking about all 3 of them. We're just talking about Omnisphere. And people keep bringing up this price of $500, which is a total falsification. Omnisphere doesn't cost $500. We'll see that later in the video. But I just want you to see what these guys are saying. So let's go to the next person. So we get the next person whose name is Emmy. And that person says, all I need is Omnisphere. He gets 40 hits to agree with him. Now see, that's what, if I didn't have, I have a plethora of synths. But if I didn't have those, could I survive with just Omnisphere? Yeah, I sure could. And all the sound banks that I could buy from third-party people like Plugin Guru, Plugin Hugger, Drum Vault, ADSR, etc., etc., etc. I could survive with just Omnisphere alone. Like I said, this is a beat video. This is straight up knowledge. We're talking about what it could do, certain things like that. But at the end, I have a track that I made strictly with Omnisphere sounds using the ARP. And we're going to get into that. Okay? Now, this is Game for Busy Work Beats. You're standing right next to him. He feels the same way that I do about Omnisphere. I've been saying for years, Omnisphere is the best synth on the planet, and been getting into debates about it with other guys, and I remember one guy telling me something about some Falcon, and I'm like, what is Falcon? You know, but that's the funny part. That is something you put up as one of the plugins, but he's standing next to you. Let's see what Game says about Omnisphere.
Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today we start a brand new series called the Omnisphere series, and we're going to focus on the greatest plugin probably of all time in the producer community. Omnisphere is made by Spectrasonics, a company known for superior quality, from Keyscape to Omnisphere, and if you remember Atmosphere back in the day, and Stylus RMX, just really great products. And this is a company that I'm just awed by their innovation all the time. They always push the needle forward. And I got to speak with Eric himself at NAMM 2019, which was in Anaheim, California, January 24th through the 27th. Very sincere guy. His energy is spectacular. You'll see him soon. But man, it just got me inspired. So he showed me stuff that I overlooked. And I just want to revisit this plugin because it's such a staple in what we're doing today in modern times. We kind of forget like the brilliance of this plugin.
So your boy Game says the same thing that I'm saying and that others are saying. Okay? So, I mean, like, I have to ask what you're doing, and especially if you say you know how to use this plugin. It's no way. So, we're going to get into the plugins that you're talking about. You said Two-Tone Electric 2. I don't see anything special about that. It looks like it does the same thing that every other plugin does. Okay? I don't see 8 layers or none of that stuff going on. I don't see no orb, which is exclusive to Omnisphere. Okay? It don't have as many sounds as Omnisphere, and I can keep going and going. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so you put up Dune. Okay, Dune look like it has 8 layers, but it doesn't have reverse on it. It doesn't have any of the things that Omnisphere has, like the orb again. And when it does the 8 layers, it doesn't do the things that Omnisphere can do with its 8 layers. And I'm going to show you the things that it can do that is exclusive to Omnisphere, and Doom and the rest of these things that you put up cannot match it. Let's move on to the next one. Now, DJ Ave Mcree picks Falcon. Back some years ago, I think it was like a couple. I didn't know what Falcon was. I didn't know it existed or anything. But it's here because I was talking to another guy about Omnisphere is the best. He was talking about Falcon this and Falcon. I'm like, what's Falcon? So I'm checking out Falcon. It really doesn't do anything for me. It really doesn't have the ins and outs, the intricacies that Omnisphere has. I'm just sorry. I mean, when I heard the sounds on it, they sound good. But this is no Omnisphere. If I had to choose between Omnisphere and this, it wouldn't be Falcon. I don't see no 8 layers and orb and, anything special about this. But it sounds good. I guess the developer, did his thing or whatever. But it's not Omnisphere. You can't say this is better than Omnisphere. Period. Let's move on. Hybrid 3. Okay, I have this synth, and I can tell you straight off the bat, it is nowhere near Omnisphere. I don't know why he picked this, but it's not better than Omnisphere. Anybody with a sane mind and has common sense and logic knows this synth cannot do what Omnisphere does. and he was talking about how it has a lot of sounds. Omnisphere has more sounds than all 6 of your synths together combined. That synth can never be on the level. It doesn't do 8 layers. It just doesn't. It doesn't do that. It doesn't have an orb, which is exclusive to Omnisphere. So let's move on. As you can see, this is Expand 2. It's another in music air instrument, just like Hybrid 3. I have this also, and I'm telling you, it does nothing that Omnisphere does. It doesn't have the power Omnisphere has. Okay, it only gives you 4 layers that you can work with, and that's basically it. You can look at it and tell, come on, really? The comparison is totally different. But let's move on to his next synth, and that's Synth Master. That was the 6th one he put up. It has a lot of control and things of that nature, but I still can't compare it to Omnisphere. I haven't seen no 8 layers or anything like that. Hardware integration, which is exclusive to Omnisphere, and none of these he put up. And I can go on and on, but let's keep going to the video. So these don't compare to Omnisphere. You just have to see it. Okay, somebody else go in on it. So my boy DJ Ave puts up a poll. He shot himself in the foot. So he said, "Is Omnisphere 2 overhyped? Why?" Got 807 votes. 30% said yes, and 70% said no. So, I mean, it's not overhyped. Eric Pearson never overhypes it. If somebody overhypes it, it's the people. Eric Pearson is a cool guy. He does what he does, and he makes the instrument to help the people. And being overhyped, it has awards. It's been in movies, TV, games, and so forth. So it's not overhyped. Okay, it's far from that. So you shot yourself in the foot. The people said 70. By 70%, the people have spoken. So my boy DJ Av go into this thing about Omnisphere, heavy on the CPU, and somebody sends him this. Omnisphere is blowing up the CPU. Okay, now I have respect for DJ Av, and he's like a producer, so I'm expecting him to know about specs. I don't run Omnisphere on my laptop, and it's 8 gigs of RAM. I run that on my main offline computer. I would never do that. So I'm thinking he would have known that. So being that you have the specs right here, you see it gives you 2.4 gigahertz or higher processor, 8 gigs of RAM or more recommended, 64 gigs of free hard drive space, and you can read the rest for yourself. But remember, they used to give the minimum and the recommended, but they jammed it together now, and this is what you have. If you have the recommended, you should go with the recommended. Omnisphere is 64 gigs of sounds. Okay, you can't be going on 8 gigs of RAM. That's why I don't put it on my laptop. Okay, you should know that as a producer. Then you wouldn't have to go in on Omnisphere talking about it's hella killer on the CPU. Yeah, as programs get bigger, the good ones, it's gonna require more power of your CPU. So you got to get your system requirements up, and you'll see you can use 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or whatever. I have no problem with my offline computer because I have more than 8 gigs of RAM. Okay? So, and get that out the way. We all know Eric Pearson, great guy, great developer, has great top-notch products. If there are 5 best top developers, Eric is number 1, period. And I'm not the only one who thinks that. So, DJ Ave, let's go. Yeah, it's me. And I am inside the box, totally. Only hardware, outside hardware I have is my MC Live. As you can see, the pads in the background. Everything is in my computer. So, Omnisphere sonically sounds great. As you can see, I have it on my screen, and I'm proud to let you know that I have it on, that I have it. And it's just a wonderful program and experience. And the thing runs deep. It's not something you just take the presets and go. You can do it if you want to, but if you really want the best out of Omnisphere, it runs deep. So you can see the certain things that Omnisphere do have that are exclusive to the 5 synths that DJ Ave put up, and you can read this. So if you need to stop to look, and read it carefully, go ahead and do so, because I'm going to go to the next thing to save time. All right? So let's look at the front panel of Omnisphere, the UI. Okay, very beautiful. You can see the list of the sounds. You can scroll through them very easy. You don't have to hit up in the pane area and then click on it or scroll with the little arrows and none of that. It's all there. Or you could type in the search, I want bass, type in the search, all the basses come up. Things like that. Beautiful. And you have reverse. It's exclusive to Omnisphere. The other ones don't have reverse. And you can do it subtle. I know people are saying, well, I could just take my region and flip it. No, that's hard reversing. This could be subtle to give you a certain nuance, to give you that flavor. All right? Without being harsh with it. Or you can take it harsh. So you can also go into the oscillator, the modulator, filter. You can go deeply into it. Now watch this. As I went into the oscillator, you can go deeper in. And you can deal with the unison, the grain, harmonics, FM. You can just deal with them so easy and go deeply into it. Okay, this is the power of Omnisphere, people. This and the other 4 windows I showed you, you can go into them deeply. Now, what I like and love about this section, the multi section, you can go live mode, stack mode, whatever, and stack 8 sounds on top of each other. This is my this is what I did to let you see the sounds you can stack. Press the keys and go crazy. But there's a stack mode where you can have sounds at different points on the keyboard, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. But yeah, I'm telling you, this has so much power to it. And you can control the volume, the panning, you got the auxiliaries, and so forth. All right? And what I love about this section, you can have all and see everything, or you can go by sections, the category, and then you go type, genre, so forth. And you can pick out which your favorites. You can go from 1 to 5 and so forth. I mean, it's a beautiful UI laid out. I mean, I can't do that with all the other ones, So, again, this is the power of Omnisphere, one of the powers. Now, this is one of the things that it's exclusive to Omnisphere and you don't get from any other synth, period. The hardware synth integration. Omnisphere groundbreaking hardware synth integration feature bridges the physical experience gap between software and hardware, giving users intuitive control of Omnisphere by using the familiar layout of their hardware synth with the new 2.6 release. Many requested hardware synth profiles have been added, including support for over 65 popular hardware synthesizers from Moog, Sequential, Roland, Korg, Novation, Nord, Behringer, Access, Studio Logic, and Yamaha, etc., etc., etc. The supported hardware synths cover a wide array of form factors and price ranges for different types of users. New sounds. Omnisphere 2.6 features a newly expanded hardware library with 600 new patches created by Eric Pearson and our acclaimed Spectrasonic sound development team. Notably, the update takes Eric's classic sound design work from the original 1987 Roland D50 into completely new sonic territory with Omnisphere's vast synthesis capabilities. A list of supported hardware: Roland JD-XA, Roland JD-XI, Roland, the Juno 106. It keeps going down. Korg. You can see all the Korg stuff. Moog, Little Fatty, and that's dope. Everybody knows that. Dave Smith stuff is there. Nord, Novation, Andromeda 6, and we love the Virus. Yamaha, Studio Sledge, DeepMind. They don't have all the sounds, but he got the best sounds out of those hardware synths. Put them into Omnisphere. Exclusive to Omnisphere. None of the synths you have that. And they don't have no hardware integration. And when you turn a knob, the screen moves to the different pages touch sensitively, like a fader, like a SSL board fader. You touch it, it's touch sensitive. You don't have that. Another thing, exclusive to Omnisphere. This is a direct picture from my Omnisphere that I made. You can see they pop up when you hit the HW, and it's real cool. I don't even have those synths. Remember, I'm inside the box, but I can play those. You can't do that with the 6 synths you gave DJ Ave. This is beautiful. Like, live players and producers, they will love this. You understand? This is exclusive to Omnisphere, and it's not in the other synths that you claim are the best or better than Omnisphere. Let's take a listen to what Eric Pearson has to say.
So Omnisphere 2.5's biggest new feature is something that completely tears down that wall and now bridges both worlds. And it's called hardware synth integration. What is it? Well, basically when you connect a hardware synth, Omnisphere acts just like that hardware synth. And so that's pretty amazing. So everything that you see on the panel, all the controls, all the interface you're used to using, it just works. So it's pretty crazy how it works. And that's what this is all about here. See this crazy rig over here? You know what this is? This is all the supported hardware synths that now work seamlessly with Omnisphere 2.5. So it's over 30 synths. And we're just getting started. So that's really, really cool. So I'm gonna jump over here and show you a little bit of it. And everything you're about to hear is not from the synths. It's not coming from the actual synths. In fact, the audio outputs are not connected. You can see there's no quarter-inch jacks anywhere. Only USB and MIDI cables, and they're all connected into laptops. So you're actually listening to the laptop. Let me come on over here. I feel like I should have my Rick Wakeman cape. It's really, really cool, and it's extremely easy to use. So this is all you have to do on Omnisphere. See this little HW button here? That's hardware. So it's right there at the top of the interface, and then you just pull up. Here's all the synths that are supported at the moment. We're adding more all the time. And let's select, why don't we select a Mini Moog Voyager? Okay, I just happen to have a Mini Moog Voyager right here. And so this is really, really cool. Now Omnisphere is set up to work like a Mini Moog Voyager. And this is an old synth. This is a synth from the early 2000s. And it works just brilliantly. So let's check this out. Okay, and what you're going to see is you're going to see a brand new feature that we haven't announced yet, and you guys are the very first to see it, and it kind of finishes up this hardware integration thing, which is super cool, which is that when you touch the synth controls on the actual synth, Omnisphere follows what you're doing on the hardware synth. So it is actually jumping to the pages. So if I change the cutoff, it jumps to the filter page, right? Isn't that awesome? So yes, okay, so what's the point? Why would you use the computer when you have the Voyager sitting here? I've had some people ask, like, I don't get it. What's the point? Well, you can do a lot more with it than you can with the actual Voyager. So first of all, we have effects. So I can now control the effects. Second of all, I can control the polyphony. So I can now have it polyphonic, right? Which you can't do on a Mini Moog Voyager. So now I'm adjusting the envelopes. And we'll put on some effects here. So isn't that crazy? So yeah, so that's just a little bit of messing around with the Voyager, and all of the modulation stuff works. You know, as soon as I select something like a destination, I'm changing the modulation routings in the mod matrix from a Moog Voyager. Crazy, right? So this integration is a lot more than MIDI learn. It's very, very sophisticated. The hardware synth integration is not all. There's more to Omnisphere 2.5 than that. One more thing, yes. And that is that Omnisphere 2.5 comes with a brand new, awesome collection of patches, which is called the hardware library. And these new patches, I've been playing through some of them, these were all created using the hardware profiles. So it's a massive library, and they have tons of the character of the original sounds. And we're really proud of this new set, and they add a lot of really awesome new vibes to Omnisphere. You can hear there's a lot more dry sounds, kind of a lot of simpler sounds, a lot of things in different kind of genres. And today, we're happy to announce, which we have not announced before, for the first time, that the new library includes over 1,000 new patches. Okay? So to put that in perspective, that brings the grand total of sounds that are included with Omnisphere now to 14,000 sounds that come in the box with Omnisphere. So it's pretty crazy. Best of all, you don't need any of these keyboards to use those patches. You can if you want, and you can do all this amazing stuff, but you don't have to. They work on every system, and so all of these patches are for everybody, which is awesome. Of course, everybody that has Omnisphere too.
Now that you heard from Eric Pearson with the hardware integration, let's deal with this arpeggiator. This thing is a beast. Okay, I've used it on the track that you're hearing it in, and the things that it can do, you cannot do in the synths that DJ Ave put up. You just can't do it. Let me show you. Omnisphere's renowned arpeggiator has received a major update in 2.6 with all new creative tools, making it one of the most flexible arpeggiators ever. The many innovations include inspiring new pattern modes, that's dope, step dividers, pitch slides, and the unique ability to have altered chord voicings and chord inversions. That's dope, exclusive to Omnisphere. Per step. Also included is a new arpeggiator preset library that showcases all the creative possibilities. Best of all, Omnisphere 2.6 can now capture the MIDI data of the arpeggiator as a standard MIDI file, which can be dragged to any DAW for further editing. So that means I can capture my MIDI playing, then drag it over into a track, the MIDI file, into my DAW. But let's watch this video and see how how it's displayed.
Welcome to part 2 of the Omnisphere 2.6 update video. In the previous video we looked at the arpeggiator and we looked at some of the new presets of this update. There were some questions regarding exporting MIDI data from the arpeggiator into your DAW. Okay, so my name is Matthias and this is Morning Dew Media. Let's take the tour. Yeah, so in the previous video I was working in Bitwig Studio, and somehow when I exported or captured the arpeggiation from Omnisphere, the pitch glides or note glides within this within the arpeggiation didn't appear in the MIDI export in Bitwig. With Logic it works totally fine and you get all these note glides with the MIDI export. So let's look at an example. We just press the capture button here and we select 4 bars. And now it says waiting for notes, and as soon as we press a note it will start to capture. And we can also change key while the arpeggiation is playing, and that will also be captured. So let's listen here. So there we have 4 bars of arpeggiation. Now we can just press this MIDI button on Omnisphere 2 and drag our MIDI clip into Logic. And there we have it. So let's just double click this clip and we can see that the pitch bend is with this MIDI file, and we have the note velocities and all these note dividers. Okay, so we need to go into Omnisphere and disable the arpeggiator because we have the arpeggiation as MIDI data.
My name is Thomas Foster. Spectrasonics has just released a new update to their synthesizer Omnisphere, namely Omnisphere 2.6. Many of the new features involve the integration of hardware synthesizers, but what really excites me is the new arpeggiator. It has many new features that I do not know about any other plugin. In this tutorial, I'll show you all the new features of the arpeggiator and how to use it. Have fun! If we open Omnisphere 2.6, it looks like this. We have a nice sound here that I can play on my keyboard. And now we go to arpeggiator. With this button here, we turn it on. And now if I just click one note, I already hear 4 notes in eighth. All right. And the new features are basically what we see here in this line. Here I can click to say transpose plus 2, for example, what is one note, 2 half notes, 1 note. And now it's transposing the third note 1 tone up. Very nice. Let's try the same with an octave, means 12 half notes. And the nice thing is we can also do this with a chord. Let's go to chord and the feature that I like most is the slide. With the slide, it's also transposing, but it's doing this with a small slide, means a pitch. Isn't that nice? If you don't hear this, change a little bit the length of it. If it's too short, you will not hear it, right? All right. So the next thing we can do, we can go to chord. And here we go to the normal up mode. I'll explain you a little bit later what it is. So without the chord function, it would sound like this. I'm playing a chord. I play 3 notes, C minor. But now I can say on this note, please play a chord. That's nice. And here we have something very special, chord voicing 1 and chord voicing 2. With voicing 1, it plays only the odd numbered notes in a health chord. And with chord voicing 2, it's playing only the even numbers of the note. So let's do this also here, voicing 1 and voicing 2. And now I play 4 notes, and with V1 we hear note 1 and 3, and with V2 we hear note 2 and 4. Also a very nice feature. Next thing we can do, we can say play the lowest note. So I play now 4 notes, but on this note we will always hear the lowest note. If I play just 3 notes, it's getting more interesting. We can do the same with the highest note. So for example, it's always nice to say first note should always be the lowest, because here I want to have the bass note. So it could sound like this. Very nice. And I also like the step divider. With the step divider, you can say on this note, play 2 notes. And it's getting more interesting with 3 notes and 4 notes. And we also can change the velocity. So with rise, it's sounding like this. Let's make rise 4, then we hear a little bit more what is happening here. On some other sounds, you hear more the difference. Here this is fall, so it starts with a loud note and then it goes down. Yeah, this sound does not so much work with velocity, so you don't hear it so good. So these are basically the new features. The graphic changed a little bit, but I will also explain you all the other features of the arpeggiator. So one of the most interesting things is here. You can say how fast it is working and what timing you have. So very simple is 4 notes per bar. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1 note per beat. But we can also have 8th, double time, or 16th, or 32s, or triplets. Or dotted. Let's go to 8 dotted and listen to it on a beat. Very interesting. Very important is also the legato button. If you are in the legato mode, you can start wherever you want, and it's not in time to the beat. You hear if I press not on a good position, it's not in time with the beat. If I go to song position, it's always in sync to your DAW, to your music program. Doesn't matter where I start. And also sometimes interesting is note, always the last note, the timing of the last note restarts the arpeggiator. So every time I press a new note, I change the timing. If you play with the DAW, with the music program, then song position is great to work.
So I made up a little art track for you to listen to with all the variations. Let's take a listen. I had fun doing that. That was really cool doing that, you know. See, this is the most powerful ARP on the planet right now. So it's exclusive to Omnisphere. I'm getting sick and tired of saying that anyway. But let's hop on over to the orb. This is the orb. It's exclusive to Omnisphere and not any of the synths that DJ Ave presented. Period. The orb circular motion interface allows infinitely shifting variations, which is exclusive to Omnisphere.
And one of the coolest things is, everyone remember that the Moog Voyager has this cool little touch plate in the middle? It's an XY coordinate touch plate, but like nobody ever uses it. Well, we just happen to have like a really cool XY device called the orb. So when I touch it now, and it'll do different things on every patch I select. So let's like, I'll try this one. This is an interesting one. This is not the kind of sound you'd expect to hear from a Moog Voyager. So yeah, so it's really, really fun. And the Voyager's the only one that has that. So each synth has unique features, right? That's why we love synths. That's why we can't ever decide how many we should buy, because there's always another one that does something cool a little differently. And so that's one of the neat things, is that Omnisphere is so powerful. It's not so much, the problem is not so much that there's not more power in Omnisphere, but it's how do you access it? How do you interact with it? And so now and it gives you a good idea of how powerful Omnisphere actually is, because all the functions on all these synths all work. So that means Omnisphere can do all of these things. It's just missing the physical interface to do it.
You can run Omnisphere 2.5 or 2.6 on a multi-touch tablet, Windows only, i7 full blown. So that's kind of dope. We're going to get into that. And live mode is really dope on that tablet, and you can switch and go back and forth smoothly. Eric Pearson did a great job on that. I don't know if those other ones that DJ Ave said could do that. So let's take a listen to Eric Pearson as he demonstrates live mode and the multi-touch.
It's a big sounding thing. It's a big sounding thing. So yeah, so obviously it doesn't only do giant sounds that don't fit in a mix. But, but it's pretty great at all kinds of things because it is so doggone powerful. So that's a 4-layer patch. The new interface also has a redesigned live mode that I want to show you. And so let's take a look at this here and check this out. So the live mode now, you can see a lot more on the screen at once. You can see your levels, you can change your trigger modes, mute and solo, latching, and all of that happens right here on the live page. You still have the old one too, but you have this, if you ever use OmniTR, this is like the OmniTR interface is actually built in now to Omnisphere. And so you can see a lot better what you're doing on stage, which is very important, obviously. And this is incredibly useful to have with another super cool 2.5 feature that we're announcing for the first time tonight, which is full support for Windows multi-touch. So you can now multi-touch Omnisphere and directly on the interface. So I'm going to show you, and I know this is kind of like I'm breaking the sacrosanct thing because I've never used like a Windows computer on the stage. CJ's giving me a hard look right now. But so I can now, unfortunately, Macintosh does not support multi-touch. So write to your friends at Apple and say, please do that, and we will be happy to support that. But it's currently working in Windows, and it's quite cool because I can now run Omnisphere on this Windows tablet. And yeah, so I'm running this whole Omnisphere. That's like a full-blown i7 Omnisphere. And so that's really cool. So I can now navigate the interface with touch. So it's pretty awesome, right? Because I can select multiple patches like that. And so let's just try some stuff and see what happens. Put something else with it. Yeah, that's all just jamming around with the live mode, just trying some different patches together.
Stack mode. This is a very good tool for when you want to stack 8 different sounds and different parts of your keyboard for you to play and just go bananas. It's really dope. So let's look at how this works also, and it's exclusive to Omnisphere.
Stack mode is a really powerful feature that allows you to layer or split multiple parts, assign each to a specific velocity range or crossfade through them using a MIDI CC, all while they respond to a single MIDI channel. Stack mode works with complete patches, so it takes a powerful computer to get the most out of it. That's why it's important to mute patch effects and share effects on aux racks to optimize performance when creating stack mode multis. Since stack mode involves the use of multiple parts, it can be found under Multi and then Stack. There are 3 settings that allow the mapping of the parts in different ways: notes, velocity, and MIDI CCs. The way to add and remove parts and to set their range and fades is the same in the 3 settings. So let's begin with notes. When set to notes, the horizontal axis represents the keyboard range, and in all 3 settings, the vertical axis is where the parts are added. I'm going to turn on stack mode, and when stack mode is enabled, you'll see this display in the header, which can be seen from any page on the plugin. By right-clicking on any of these rows, a menu comes up listing every part followed by the name of the patch currently loaded on it. I'll select Add Part 1, and since I right-clicked on the first row, Part 1 is added to it. If I right-click on this row and select Add Part 1 is moved to it. To remove a part, I can simply right-click on it and select Remove this part. Okay, let's go to the first row, and we'll right-click and select Add Part 1. From this menu, I can select to display the name of the patch, the part number, or both. From this menu, I can select which MIDI channel stack mode will respond to. Since stack mode is set to notes, the length of this region indicates the keyboard range for this part. By clicking and dragging the lower edges, that range can be adjusted. Now I'm going to right-click on the second row to add part 2 and create a basic split. I'll set the range of the second part at about here, and that's it. Simple. Right now I have a bass in my left hand and a pad in my right hand. And this keyboard display will provide feedback of what's played on your MIDI controller. Okay, let's say I want to create a positional crossfade between parts 1 and 2. I'll extend the range of this part, and by dragging the upper edge of a region, a fade can be created. I'll do the same for part 1, and that's it. This is a really fast and easy way to do this, but it can be done in different ways. I can right-click on the row where part 1 is and select Add Part 2, and when both parts are in the same row, I can resize the crossfade, move it around, and even get rid of it. To create a new one, I can create a fade here, and then extend the range of this region to the right. Now I'm going to place it over here, and make it a little bigger, and let's hear what this sounds like. Keep in mind that when you're playing in an area that has a crossfade, both parts are triggered simultaneously, which might have an impact on your CPU. Now I'd like to add part 3, which has an arpeggiated bell patch loaded in this row. I'll right-click on it and select Add Part 3, and I'm going to set the range of this region at about here, so it's layered with the high register of part 2. It's really simple. Let's try playing something.
Now that we see the illustration for stack mode, the effects, the many effects that are exclusive to Omnisphere, you will not see in any of the synths he gave. Those synths basically have the standard chorus, distortion, EQ, reverb, what else? Delay, things like that. This has 58 effects. As you heard Eric Pearson say, 14,000 sounds. I think it's worth the price it is, and you get quality sounds. This thing is a beast. So you can't go wrong with this. And for all my EDM people, it has a special section for the EDM people. Let's see who this machine, well, software, caters to. It caters to orchestral sounds, R&B, rap, urban trap, EDM, reggae music, dancehall, trance, progressive, chill, drums and bass, pop, electric pop, whatever genre you are into, it can handle. Some of those, it's like basically for EDM. You know, you get those sounds, and you can't do all the genres I've mentioned and etc. I wish people would stop saying Omnisphere 2.6 costs $500. The correct price is $479. Do you have to pay $479 all at once? Is $479 a good price for what you're getting in Omnisphere 2.6? I say yes. From my video was just some of the things that Omnisphere 2.6 has to offer. How can a person obtain Omnisphere at a low price where it won't break the bank immediately? Well, let's go into that. If you want to buy it for $479 straight up, you have the money, you can go to eBay or you can go directly to Spectrasonics and get it for $479. And if you want to get RMX and Trillion, you can do that too. Okay? To obtain Omnisphere without paying the whole $479, you can pay $59.88 for 8 easy monthly payments. You can pay the $59, and then the rest of the 7 months you pay $59.88. Does that seem like a lot? All you need is a debit card, credit card. If you don't got one, get somebody who has one and make sure you pay them their money. Let's go to the next. American Musical is doing the same thing. 8 easy payments for $59.88. You have options. Let's go to the next one. Sweetwater is selling it $80 for 6 months. So every month you pay $80 until you pay it off, and you'll have it in your house the first $80 payment. So price really isn't an issue, okay? Especially if you don't want to spend $479. So, and there you have it. I've proven that Omnisphere is better than the synths that DJ Ave presented, and it has things exclusively in Omnisphere that you can't do in those synths. And there's more stuff. It's over an hour now. So, yeah, you get the download box and upgrade. I will present the track that I did with strictly Omnisphere except for the drums. And, you know, let me know what's going on. You know, let's talk about it. Subscribe, like it or dislike it, whatever. And let's go. Peace to DJ Ave Mcree and the rest of y'all out there. Let's make great music and have fun. That's the most important part. Peace.